Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about the match between FC Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, but there is going to be a very big emphasis on Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, because I really do think that if Barcelona want to do well this season, our main double pivot should be Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. I know that a player like Casado does exist, maybe even Gavi exists, Eric Garcia does exist, they can all play next to Pedri, but I do think that right now, our best double pivot does contain Frenkie and Pedri working together, and in the match against Atletico Madrid, they showed why together they can perform the best partnership. Now look, I understand that many do view this midfield as unsustainable, and sometimes here and there Frenkie might have poor games. I understand that, and especially in the match against Atletico Madrid, we saw Frenkie de Jong and Pedri make a few mistakes in the first 5 to 6 minutes, which is what led towards Barcelona going down by 2 goals very early. But to be very honest, after those 7 to 8 minutes, Pedri and Frenkie de Jong were exceptional, and Barcelona controlled the game. Thanks to our double pivot, we controlled the tempo and forced Atletico Madrid into submission. I also really do think that in Barcelona's most exciting moments against Atletico did come through Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, because we saw Frenkie de Jong push the ball high up the pitch with Pedri receiving between the lines, and Atletico Madrid couldn't do anything to stop it. All of their dribbles were very effective. Frenkie de Jong, I believe, did deliver a standout performance. He completed 99 passes, recovered 8 balls, and was very influential in the final third. And in the final third specifically, he created 2 chances, 13 passes into the final third, 2 interceptions, 2 ground duels won, 4 out of 5 long balls completed, and 100% of his aerial duels were won. And the same thing does go for his tackles. All of them were won, which is crazy. And here's going to be the heat map of Frenkie and Pedri together. As you can see here, Frenkie de Jong was the deepest midfielder by having some red and yellow on our defensive half. Yet he did show he was very effective. With Pedri, you barely did see him in Barcelona's defensive half. We saw him much more in the final third and right behind the attacking line, and that's mainly because he fed a lot of balls to either Alejandro Balde, Rafinha, or Lamine Yamal. So now let's talk about the overall game of FC Barcelona. I'm still going to be talking about Pedri and Frenkie here and there, so keep that into mind. So one of the great things I loved about this game was the fact that Lamine Yamal was embarrassing Javi Galan. I don't know if you guys remembered, but there was a point within the past 5 years where Barcelona actually wanted Galan to reinforce the left back position, because at the time we did not know if Alejandro Balde was going to be our definitive left back. Jordi Alba was a little older, and Galan was being eyed on. And to see a few years later for Lamine Yamal to embarrass Javi Galan, thank God Barcelona did not achieve this signing. And so one of the ways Barcelona were able to get into the final third and really be effective was for Lamine Yamal to get through Javi Galan first, which is what allowed for us to score a couple of goals. Dani Olmo had the role of trying to take out defenders away from their zones when Lamine Yamal or Jules Koundé were combining on the right flank, which is what led towards spaces inside the box. It's one of the ways that Pedri got his goal. Barcelona's high-intensity pressing and aggressive ball recovery was also led by Pedri and Pau Cubarsí, with Frenkie de Jong receiving the majority of the time when Pedri and Cubarsí won the ball. This did force Atletico Madrid to recycle possession and just go back and defend, which is the reason why Barcelona were attacking so many times between the 8th minute all the way until the 85th minute. I also love the fact that players like Pedri and Rafinha were exploiting Atletico Madrid's defensive structure through short runs and movements, dragging defenders out of their position to open up space. And so Barcelona continued to do this high risk, high reward approach, something that we have never seen under Xavi Hernandez, because there were moments where Xavi Hernandez's FC Barcelona were down by 1 goal, 2 goals. Yes, sometimes we did tie, but most of the time we could not match those 2 goals and overcome the deficit. With Hansi Flick, he has been able to solve this problem. Maybe not defensively, maybe we do concede the exact same goals like we do with Xavi Hernandez, but Hansi Flick's Barcelona do have an answer, and they can say, okay, you score 2, but we can score 4. Oh, you score 3, we can score 5. It's very, very exciting to see. Ideally, I would like to see Hansi Flick's Barcelona eventually get to a point where we concede very little goals, but our attack is 100%. If I were to rank Barcelona's attack with Barcelona's pressing and Barcelona's defense, I would say the best thing that we do is attack the opposition well, right? We're able to find goals. The second best thing that we do is press the opposition well and force the defenders or the fullbacks to make mistakes. We just press relentlessly. We never do get tired. I mean, like, we did get tired in the last 8 to 10 minutes, but overall Barcelona's press was very effective. And I would say the third best thing that we do is recover the ball in the middle of the pitch. I'm going to add that in there because I really do think that the worst thing Barcelona do is concede goals, right? Like, that is the worst. Conceding goals is something that I want to see rank up to number 1, right? Is to say that we are one of the best when it comes to not conceding goals. Outside of that, I also loved Ferran Torres' performance because he does provide so much fluidity in the attack, linking up well and quick passing combinations. It's something that we cannot really see with Lewandowski. I also loved Alejandro Balde's inverted runs. And the fact that he has so much confidence on taking on players, this is the best version of Alejandro Balde that we have seen in a very long time. So overall, I'm very happy with the Barcelona's performance. I did not want to give out that impression that Barcelona did not perform well against Atletico Madrid. To me, in my opinion, Barcelona played amazing and they play like they are the best team in the world. To me, that is just my opinion. You can say, no, Kevin, you're wrong. Barcelona is not the best team in the world. No, Barcelona played beautiful football. It is beautiful. No other club in the world can do what Barcelona did against Atletico Madrid. It's not Man City, it's not Bayern, it's not Real Madrid, it's not Liverpool. No, Barcelona played beautiful football. They are the best team in the world. We are playing the best football that we have seen in a very long time, and Hansi Flick is doing a tremendous job. I want to congratulate all of these players for doing the best that they can, because these one-touch passes, these quick movements, the amount of shots that they are taking, how can you bash on this performance? It's beautiful. I'm sorry. Like, this is me as a Barcelona fan. I want to say clearly to everybody here that Barcelona is the best team in the world. We can beat any team in the football world, and that's just how it is. I love this club. I love the way that these players have been able to deliver, and there's a reason why so many fans in Catalonia or in Spain in general really do adore Hansi Flick. If you go look at his videos and how he is adored by many of his fans, right, by giving him a cake, by giving him hugs, taking pictures with Hansi Flick, we never saw that under Xavi Hernandez. That is how you know that Hansi Flick has really made something special here at this club, because we have been dying for something like this for the past 10 years. It's the fact that Hansi Flick has been able to get this team to score as many goals as the Barcelona in the MSN era. It's amazing. And yes, I'm very confident that when we go into the second leg for the Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid at their home, by the way, right? Not at Barcelona's home, but at Atletico Madrid's home, Barcelona can come out with a big win. So now let's move on towards the next conversation. And I do want to speak about Lionel Messi returning to FC Barcelona. There was a journalist who has claimed, who was the first one to say that Messi was joining Inter Miami? That was me. Nobody else said that. And now I'm going to tell you that he is coming to FC Barcelona. Okay, so many have been questioning, hey Kevin, what do you think about Messi maybe returning to FC Barcelona? Do you find this ideal? Would it make sense sportingly? Okay, so let's understand what's currently going on at Inter Miami first. So a couple of weeks ago, we saw a family friend named Yanina Latorre or something like that, right? She did reveal in an interview with La Nacion that Messi did confirm his intention to go back to FC Barcelona by stating, he told me that when he finishes here in Miami, where he is happy, he will return to FC Barcelona. Also, David Beckham, a co-owner of Inter Miami, mentioned that Messi's attachment to Barcelona is very much real. He stated, I would like Messi to live in Miami when he retires, but Messi told me that he only thinks about living near the Camp Nou. We also do know that the main co-owner, Jorge Mas, has expressed his confidence though that Messi would extend at Inter Miami, and this is what he said: I'm very confident Messi will be opening our new stadium in 2026 after a 2025 trophy-laden season. So Jorge Mas does want to extend his contract until at least 2026 and up until 2027 because it does align with the opening of their new stadium. So what we know right now is there has been some people close to Messi's entourage stating that he would like to join Barcelona eventually, but we also do know that Inter Miami wants to keep Messi past December 2025 where his contract does end. Now here's the thing, back on October 2024, Messi had an interview with Fabrizio Romano and he said, I wouldn't like to be a coach, but I'm still not sure what I'd like to do in the future. I value much more than before everything I do on a day-to-day basis. So I just think about playing, training, and having fun. And he also did not mention directly addressing his future with either Inter Miami or just in general. So he does take it day by day. So to be very honest, I do not know whether Messi is thinking about joining FC Barcelona or not, because based off what he said, he does not look too far into the future. But let's just say it's real. Let's just say that Barcelona say, yes, we do plan on bringing you in December 2025. We want to have you here for a season and a half. And Messi says, okay, he will consider it. Would it make sporting sense? Because look, back in the 2024 MLS season that he had with Inter Miami, he was averaging 0.5 goals per 90 minutes and 0.7 assists per 90 minutes with a pass completion rate of 85%. Even till this day, Messi is the most important player for Inter Miami this season of the year of 2025. But in terms of his distance covered per match, it is around 8 kilometers. And in his prime, which was like 3 years ago, he was covering around 10 to 12 kilometers. So he does cover much less ground because he does not run a lot, which is the reason why, and that is to prevent multiple injuries through the season. And he does have reduced pressing intensity. Given this context, would a player like him fit at Hansi Flick's system? Because Hansi Flick's Barcelona employs high pressing, fast-paced style. It's very physical, relentless, very vertical, and on average per player, in terms of covering distance, it is around 12 to 13 kilometers per game. And with Messi only covering 8 kilometers per game, he does fall short in this benchmark. So if Messi were to come, we would have to consider the fact that he would not be pressing a lot in the final third, which is something that is so mandatory under Hansi Flick's system. And so I can see him go into 3 different routes. If he were to join Barcelona, he can play as a false 9 or a second striker. If not, a deep line playmaker where he's not in the final third a lot and he receives the ball in the middle of the pitch, or he is just a super sub entering in the last 30 minutes of the game. Here is going to be another thing to note: his injury history in the past year. Last season in 2024 with Inter Miami, he did miss 10 matches for both club and country due to a ligament injury. The last time he did miss more than 10 matches was 10 years ago, back in the 2015-2016 season, where he missed 13 matches for club and country, and that is because of a knee medial ligament tear. So we do have to take that into consideration, because if Messi is missing multiple matches due to just one injury, what's going to happen when he joins a team like FC Barcelona in Europe, where you are demanded to play much faster? Besides that, I also think that he'll have a great impact on the team dynamics with players like Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí. For sure, Messi is going to have a huge impact on our youngsters. I believe that Messi can show Lamine Yamal how he does find those pocket of spaces or trying to find those key passes. Lamine Yamal would learn a lot. I believe that Messi can also show Gavi and Pedri how to develop the elite mentality and to really win in high-stake situations. Messi has done that multiple times. So I do think that overall, it would be beneficial for Messi to arrive at Barcelona, but we cannot revolve our project around Messi. It would have to continue to be around Lamine Yamal, Gavi, Pedri, Cubarsí, and Alejandro Balde. Moving on towards the next conversation, and I do want to speak about Lamine Yamal's ego, because many have been questioning whether Yamal has a big ego or not. And so I want to address this, right? And I'm not going to try and amplify this situation. I'm not going to be talking about this ever again, because when I heard this conversation going on in the media, I'm like, bro, like, are you serious right now? So let me talk about this. Many have been saying Yamal has a big ego because of his playing style. Many have said that Yamal is celebrated for his bold attacking approach on the pitch, and they're like, oh my god, okay, he's doing too much, he's trying to be so flashy, Yamal has a big ego. And I'm gonna say, nope, that is not true. The second thing, oh no, Yamal has a big ego because of his body language. Really? You think that Yamal has a big ego because of his body language? Like, how detailed are you with this? Like, do you really have such a big agenda against Yamal that you're willing to just analyze his body language and not his assist and goal output? Are you saying that his body language is not correct because he shows frustration when he misses a goal, or is it because of his celebrations? Like, what's going on here? I'm gonna say no to that too. Could it be because Yamal hogs the ball a lot? I don't think so. I think that when Yamal hogs the ball, he does it very effectively. When he retains possession and goes through multiple defenders, this is what allows for Barcelona to generate a lot of opportunities. So no, it's not that either. I believe that there is nothing that Yamal does carry right now that would allow for the fan base to say that Yamal is carrying an ego. It just doesn't make any sense. I think that it is healthy for every player to carry some sort of ego for themselves, right? So just a little. I know what it looks like for a player to have 110% ego all the time and is amplified, like Vinicius, for example. It just looks ugly and you become very self-centered. Yamal is not like that. I think many people are getting it confused with Yamal, right? Because he's 17 years old, he's still maturing, and I think that what looks like is cockiness might simply be the energy of a young athlete trying to rise his level all the way to the top. That's literally what it all is and nothing more. We can even talk about like his celebrations. Like, people get pissed off about his celebrations and how like it does mimic Neymar, but just because he mimics a celebration like Neymar doesn't mean that he does have the exact same personality. So I do understand where people get this perception about Yamal, but it's wrong. Like, I'm sorry, bro, like, you're just wrong. And I really do think that if Yamal was egotistical, like what many do say, I would say, okay, he would probably get upset when he does get subbed off by Hansi Flick, and he does not get upset at all. Like, he does not show frustration, he does not complain, he doesn't say a single thing. If he was really egotistical as well, he would also be trying to dribble the ball himself and forcing goals for himself, but he does not do that. If anything, Lamine Yamal is one of the most generous players at Barcelona, but ranking in second place in terms of big chances created with a total of 19. In terms of expected assist, ranked in third place with 5.9, below Pedri and Rafinha. As a matter of fact, in the most recent game against Atletico Madrid, where he took down 2 players, he led a pass to Lewandowski, which led towards the 4-2. Lamine Yamal could have shot there if he wanted to and score the goal for himself, but he did not do that. He found the player that was the most open. So Lamine Yamal is not egotistical whatsoever. And here's the thing, what is so bad for Lamine Yamal to be trying to engage in more goals? Like, even, yes, okay, let's just say that he does dribble much more than the previous seasons, and he tries to go through multiple players trying to find the goal. What is so bad about that? Because this Barcelona team is very high risk, high reward, and they take their chances. It's not just Lamine Yamal, right? These players take way more shots than ever before. Ferran Torres is improving his goals and assist numbers by shooting more for himself. Do people call that egotistical? Same thing with Rafinha. He's starting to score more goals and providing assists for himself. Is that egotistical? No. No one is saying that it is the ego of Rafinha. Lewandowski has now scored more goals than he did last season. Is that that egotistical? No, it is not. Pedri also scored a goal against Atletico Madrid, scored more goals than the previous season. Is that egotistical? No, it is not. It is simply what this Barcelona team is. But when Lamine Yamal does it and he tries to go for the goal himself, why would people call that ego? I understand why. You guys say that because he's only 17 years old and he's reaching such a high level for his age, people are eventually going to start hating. But that is what comes with having the best youngster in the world and the best right winger in the world, unfortunately. So no, Yamal does not have a big ego. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.